I want to play this Tim Burkett thing real quick. We've kind of lost the Netflix vibe here, but this is Tim Burkett talking to Benny Johnson. And I am done with all these conservative grifting scumbags. These guys, man, if the other party wasn't the Democrats, I would ban Republicans from ever having power again. Because these cunts and their little mouthpieces. Now, you know that none of these conservative talkers with big numbers and huge audiences on the internet sphere, you know all of them were backed by dark money and none of them got there on being good.
Oh, yeah.
They got paid by a billionaire. They get sponsored by a billionaire like the Daily Wire did, like Dave Rubin did with Sheldon Adelson and all these people, Miriam Adelson. These people get paid shitloads of money. And all they have to do is follow talking points and the checks will clear no matter what your audience looks like. It's because Benny Johnson is a nobody. There's no reason he should be popular. He's one of these guys who I think a lot of these Republicans are great when they're out of power because they say all the right things. They're hitting all the right notes. But they get into power and it's just...
They become the demons they espoused against.
Right. Like all of these Democrats, Republicans, all of them are Gollum. Like all of them get that fucking ring and they just turn into psychopaths. Every single one of them. I mean, I never thought I'd live to see a day where Republicans are defending the FCC trying to shut down a network if they don't cancel somebody that they don't like.
Yeah, that. Thanks, Trump. That whole Jimmy Kimmel thing is really helping out.
Yeah. So now they did a poll. Jimmy Kimmel has a higher approval rating than Donald Trump does.
Great.
Which is not a good thing. So here's Tim Burkett saying that we ought to drag Netflix into Congress to testify, which doesn't sound very free market to me.
Would you be in favor of the Netflix leadership being asked to sort of testify over this?
Now, if you're asking me, Aaron, can you give me an example of what you think a big government would be? I would say this. Being able to just snap your fingers and bring in Netflix and have them come explain their programming decisions to the Congress. That's a government that's too big. Shut that down.
Plus, isn't Netflix like a global company? I mean, they have different programming that they offer in different countries, so... I don't know. It seems weird, but yeah, at the same rate, like the problem is they picked something where I'm really like, yeah, but I really don't like that anyone's allowed like that makes content.
Well,
like
here's
that,
the deal.
so.
I have news for you. Those children, their parents okayed this, those soulless demons. The producers and all of these people, they've been doing this to young talent for decades, probably near a century now. So this is nothing new, and there's nothing Congress can do about it. And there's nothing Tim Burkett can do about it other than he's going to grandstand. He's going to fundraise based on this because that's all their fucking job is raising money. And he's going to ask AIPAC if it's okay to go too hard on the paint on pedos.
I would really, really love it if our congressman started saying, look, guys, we just need this much to keep the campaign afloat. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo. Let's go.
Exactly. That's all you need to just have a goal.
Be honest about your fucking money grubbing.
Just have a goal. That's all. Like we're $95 away from tomorrow.
Thank you.
I'd like to knock that out today. We're also 90 gifted memberships away from 600. So you know how I said there's got to be a big membership drop coming on Rumble?
Yeah.
We got it over the weekend. So we're at 510, which like a week or two ago was a new record.
Yeah.
But now I believe the record is 633 or something like that. All right, so here's Tim Burkett's answer on dragging Netflix in. I'm sorry, I'll shut up. I need to let this play a little.
Radical sexual ideology.
Every time we're on, I always say I'm going to do something that makes news. Here's what I want to do on this one because the First Amendment and all that is involved in it, of course.
Oh, thanks for acknowledging that.
Let's get on it. I'm going to follow up with my folks after we get off. I'm going to call them and say which committee can they be brought in front of? Is who? I think what we have to look at who regulates the FCC, and then since it's cable, does that count? I don't know.
It's not. Fuck.
It's not cable. It's a streaming service.
Again, these are just old fuckers who don't know anything. It's not cable. Cable isn't regulated by the FCC. You know, cable is a great example of why we don't need an FCC to regulate content. The FCC can put on hardcore pornography if they want to. Or I'm sorry, the FCC, they probably do. Cable, you can say fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits. You can say all the 7 words, you can do all the bad things. But they don't, because they know that advertisers would not pay to support that kind of programming.
Or if they have that kind of programming, it's on a specific channel.
Right. So there is no regulatory power you have. But I mean, I just want you to think about that for a second. I want to see what committee we can drag them in front of. Is that how you like? So
you
don't
have a plan yet. You're just waiting to see what.
Well, he's just trying to keep Benny Johnson and his mouth-breathing retard audience happy and like, oh yeah, Tim Burkett, he's one of our guys. Where are you on the Epstein files, dickhead? Other than in them. I'm kidding. I don't think this guy's in them. But like Benny Johnson, this guy's, I mean, if this guy doesn't reek of fucking bought and paid for shill, I don't know what does.
I don't know enough about it, but yeah, they need to be brought in. We need to find out what their agenda is and why they're pushing this stuff. Because from what I understand, that little cartoon is apparently the #1 rated cartoon they have on their show.
I've never even heard of this.
Like claymation or something. I'm not really sure.
Oh wait, no, this is CocoMelon. No, never mind. I've seen this.
I said something about.
This is CocoMelon?
Yeah, this is CocoMelon from the looks of things.
Netflix show CocoMelon features interracial gay dads attempting to raise a baby as transgender who make the toddler dance for them in drag. This is the woke version of. Hey, let me tell you something. This is actually a good thing that they're making this. You can see an accurate depiction of the gay community when they adopt children. Why would you hide? I think this is educational.
Except like if you just keep it up there, like, I don't know. I have not seen this particular episode. My daughter grew out of CocoMelon, thank Christ. But I don't know, like this is I kind of assumed when they said sexualizing children, I took it to mean like they're actually like, because from anyone's watching this perspective, like say my daughter watching that'll be like, all right, so that's just a weird dude. I'm not like, she's not going to read the quote unquote, the gay dads thing and all that stuff. She's not going to read into any of that unless you give her a reason to. Otherwise, she's just going to move on. Like that's kind of the way a lot of kids are. And that's where this is both normalizing it, but also at the same rate. Again, if you sit there and you point at the fire, you're going to draw more attention to it. And I don't really see what, like, I didn't know it was, I thought there was like something else we were talking about. I mean, like, CocoMelon isn't really that bad. It's like, we got to censor you and you got to tell us why you're making these decisions.
That's what I'm saying, is that everybody gets whipped up into a fervor and they get mad and offended and upset and they want to do stuff before they even know what the fuck is going on. And then my position is always, well, if you don't like it, don't watch it, because stupid me, I thought that was our position when people like us were out of power. It should be our position when we're in power. We should have some level of intellectual honesty and consistency. And that's where I fuck up. That's where I'm an asshole and an idiot. Because my position is, if Netflix wants to put this garbage on and this is something that upsets you and you find this reprehensible and immoral, which is good, that's fine, then you have two choices. You can just not watch it on your Netflix, or you can cancel Netflix altogether. Me, I think that's a bit drastic. I think you can just not watch it. There's a lot of shit on Netflix that I probably don't like and don't agree with. My eyes aren't drawn to it like a moth to a flame.
Like I said, you find other shit for your kid to watch. There's plenty of other things.
I also,
here's an idea. Don't let TV be your babysitter all the time.
That's a great point too. But like, my biggest thing on this is very, very simple. I don't think the government should be dragging Netflix in front of Congress and having a fucking inquisition.
Certainly doesn't look good when you're talking about doing it and you're like, well, I haven't really figured it all out, but we're going to get this cable company brought in after we ask what could we possibly hold them accountable for.
Hey, Benny, you're a mouth breather who's basically brought to us by Israeli billionaires, and you got a mouth breathing retard audience that'll eat up anything you say. Let me say right now so I can get on their good side. I'm going to drag those Netflix guys in, and I'm going to see what we can do about this. And even though it's against conservatism and it's against libertarianism, it's against freedom and all that, I'm going to do it anyway, because I know that the fucking snot eaters in your audience will fucking love that shit, because we're culture warring here. Either execute the people who run Netflix or don't. I go towards don't. But I've had it. I'm just tired of people believing in these people and sitting there going, you can't trust them. They're going to stab you in the back. They're anti-freedom. These are powerful people who just serve their own ends. And I'm called crazy, and I'm called this, and I'm called that. And I just go, just wait, just watch, and here it is.
And immediately.
Aaron, the Kimmel thing is just an isolated deal. The FCC guy just went a little too far. All right, well, here's another one a week later of a guy saying that we should drag Netflix before Congress. Fuck him. Fucking hillbilly, shit-slinging ape.
Immediately, the left pounded on me and said something about, oh, you're just upset because it's a racial family.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, that's no. That'd be funny if you went, hey, look, that's like the eighth thing wrong with it.
And
Look, first off, it's the whole butt pirate thing. I'm not cool with it. He's got a beard, clearly a ginger, so there's no soul.
Oh, no, that's 100% Seth Rogen.
Well, at least the gay part makes sense.
Right. And if Seth Rogen would just come out, he would be a guy who would take the, old size queen Rogan is what they call him.
And I know some
He likes
gay
big
folks,
roles.
and they are getting a little more ticked off about the transgender situation because they're getting lumped in. That's not their fight. I don't think that's their fight. They need to pull off all that garbage. And because, they got their win, they got their marriage thing going, and nobody cares. Everybody's looking for a fight, and I live in East Tennessee, and nobody cares. Nobody cares. And
we hanged all our queers and ran them out of town decades ago, so we don't care, really. No, I will agree with him on this, though. It does seem like I heard that there are schools now where their LGBTQIA plus clubs are dropping the TQIA plus part. And they're just like, it's like gays and lesbians are declaring independence and being like, look, we got no fucking dog in this. We don't care. We don't want to be part of this. Like, enough already. Remember when bisexual was the craziest thing you could be?
Yeah. And when the thing you kept hearing was the bisexual people, we don't get any respect from the gay community because we just fuck anything that moves. And the rest of us are like, and you want pity from us?
So not at all. I mean, it's like, what about us bi people? You're fucking weird. Stay away from us. You can't make up your goddamn mind.
So horny, you'll hump anything.
If we could have kept it to the gays and the lesbians, everybody would have an interior decorator and a carpenter, and everyone would be fine. I got in trouble in high school once because I didn't know this was offensive. This is how much times have changed. I quoted a George Carlin line in class, and we had a very young English teacher, and she was very politically, active and whatever. And she talked about how busy she was. And the only thing I knew about busy was a George Carlin line. And it cracked all my friends up when I said it in class. I said, busier than a dyke in a hardware store. That was an old George Carlin line. And oh my God, her eyes got like this. I was like in 10th or 11th grade. I didn't know that saying busier than a dyke in a hardware store was offensive.
I mean, yeah, kind of a little, even back then. Like, that's still.
I just knew that George Carlin said it, and people seemed to think it was funny.
God,
that's where it started and ended for me.
It's just a special kind of tarted. I don't even know.
Joey Caravello with $2 says, Aaron, have you ever seen a woman poo and go, wow, that's pretty sexy? All the time. Zen Man with $2. Here's what I've learned about Joey Caravello. Yes, and baby. He'll keep the magic coming. Just yes, and. Zen Man with $2 says, why is it so hard for these people to not sexualize children or the content they make for them? For fuck's sake, we had G.I. Joe giving you a life lesson at the end of every show. Now they have dumb crap like this. There's a lot of hetero fuck energy in a lot of that G.I. Joe stuff, though.
Yeah, and I understand that it's espousing transgender ideals and things like that, but it's not it's not specifically sexualizing children. It's saying you have the right to free expression, and you have the right to figure out who you are and that kind of stuff. Granted, they're kind of tilting it towards but maybe you like wearing tutus and a skirt. Like I don't like I said, I don't want my kid watching that shit.
How about this? How about every time we have a Kimmel, every time we have a Netflix, every time we have one of these things, Israel bombed another one of our allies, like Qatar. Netanyahu is trying to fuck off on that peace deal, even though it's a super pro-Israel peace deal. We're having, Epstein stays out of the news, all this shit, but Americans just gobble up, bring Netflix before Congress. No. We shut down, keep this government shut down until you release everything we've got on Epstein. There.
Yeah, good luck. That's not even on the table as one of the negotiating things.
And then how about with this Gaza, this 21-point peace deal? It basically is a big, wet, sloppy kiss to the Israelis and Netanyahu, but he doesn't get to occupy Gaza and take Gaza City and the rest of the Gaza Strip. So now he's against it. And by the way, the minute that dishonest rat fuck war criminal says yes to that peace deal, he is going to find a way to instigate something and then play victim and say that Hamas isn't holding to the deal, so now we're going to take Gaza.
Right. I mean, that's literally what people in I was playing a clip on Friday. People in like Gaza and stuff were saying, like when they were like, oh, so this peace deal thing, and they're like, yeah, but what, like it doesn't really sound like we have a whole lot of control in this, and how do we know that we're in, like, and what's to stop them from just again attacking us? Because the whole idea is like, hey, just sit on your hands and let us kind of govern you for a bit, and if you trust us, in time you get more and more control.
Well,
but if you look back historically, they've used that as the excuse every time to go in and take over.
Well, and here's the deal. It's the whole peace deal is like Hamas leaves, Palestinian Authority leaves, Gaza gets demilitarized. So there can be no fighting force, and there's going to be this peace force that the Arabs can have, but it's going to be trained by it's going to be trained by the Israelis. And then we're going to have this Trump and Tony Blair led peace force that'll be in there as kind of a buffer. And it's just like, and Israel still doesn't like it. And it's like anything short of handing that land to the Jews, they're not going to be okay with. And with Netanyahu, it's amazing. If the guy, Trump said, hell no, that's enough. We're not letting them occupy Gaza. Israel is not going to annex Gaza. Well, you know what? I have an opinion. And my opinion is this. I believe that if Netanyahu tries to annex Gaza, that's way worse than anything Saddam Hussein ever did.
Yep.
And we bombed him, invaded him, and kicked him out of there. I would like to see this. If Israel doesn't take this peace deal, this would be a perfect world. I know this is never, believe me, this is never going to happen. But President Imholt, you either take this peace deal or we pull all the money off the table. Now, I would like to pull the money off the table anyway, but I'm realistic. We're not going to. You take this peace deal or we stop funding you. You go in and you take Gaza, we will, one way or another, enact regime change in Israel, and you will have a new government, and Netanyahu will be